What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rebel Scum Lair. My name is James Jackson, your host, along with my co-host, Geraldine Jackson, my sister and partner in crime, as we explore the galaxy. Today, we're going to talk about episode 2 of Obi Wan Kenobi. Jerry, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Doing well. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into this episode. Episode 2. If you've seen our last video, you probably already know how we may be feeling about episode 2. We obviously gave a little bit of head. If you haven't seen the previous video, definitely go check that out. We will definitely link a link in the description below as well as up. But check out our previous video of episode 1 of what our thoughts are of Obi Wan Kenobi. But let's go right into episode 2 with our thoughts. Jerry, what are your thoughts of episode 2?
I enjoyed episode 2, but man, did Leia annoy my existence.
Really?
Yes. She
Okay.
So I get she's 10, but the amount of obliviousness as so you've been living in an environment where the Jedi are gone because they were killed. That for a fact. That the Jedi Temple was attacked. The Jedi were killed during this attack. So why, and there are people called inquisitors. You should be aware of this. Your father is a senator. You're not so sheltered.
Okay.
That shouldn't be something you're not, at least in a realm of the reason Jedis don't exist is because they were killed off. That alone. And if you run into a Jedi and he's being like, we need to go. We need to quickly get you to this transport. And she's like, I would like to touch this. And I would like to get this food. And I would want to do this. And he's like, yo, we need to go. You just got out of being kidnapped. That's also what blows my mind. She's been kidnapped this whole time. When she finally gets set free, she's not immediately trying to get to the next transportation to get out of this kidnap situation. She's shopping. She wants to go try this food. She's being a very mischievous child, being like, float me, draw attention to me as after I just got saved for being kidnapped. Let's draw attention to me so my kidnappers can come kidnap me again.
Okay.
And then potentially, when she finds out that the reason she was kidnapped was because of Obi-Wan, she's like, oh, I shouldn't trust you. No, maybe, he's a Jedi, right? Assuming, and that Inquisitors exist. And assuming the reason, why would follow me here? If you weren't somebody he would come help, why would they kidnap you? You're bitter that your daddy didn't send a whole army to come get you because he was never going to do that because that would be too much of a political issue, right? So he sent a Jedi. So assuming that, you are an intelligent girl, you should probably assume that and assume the fact that this guy is trying to help you. And the reason they're trying to kill him is because he's a Jedi, which is the reason why all the other Jedi were killed. So why are you so obnoxious of a human being? Just a terrible, terrible little 10-year-old. And again, she's a kid, but it's you can't be that obtuse and that oblivious and that, especially in the political family you are, and in the Star Wars universe in general. She's only 3 years younger than Padme was when she became queen. Padme was 13 when she became
14, but
she's still 4 years younger than Padme when she became queen. You're not, you as a person in the universe you live or at a age where you would have this awareness of your environment and would be possibly responsible in about 4 years for making decisions on the well-being of an entire planet. So it is very shocking to me that she's this oblivious to a lot of circumstances. So that was the biggest element that I disliked about it. But everything else, I really loved it, from the cinematography, even the way that Sister 3 was
Reva.
even the way in certain shots when she's chasing Obi-Wan, she almost looks like a
Parkour.
she's like doing a bunch of parkour, but she's even like
Parkour.
she's just doing parkour all the way, but she's also like running like almost like a cheetah or a lion chasing her prey. Like those
I do love that like I do love that element.
details,
Like she's a cheetah on the prowl.
like waiting to hunt. I love those details. I love the details of even Obi-Wan. The biggest thing I loved about this episode is it goes back to what Jedi are to a degree. They were detectives. If you remember in episode 2, I know it wasn't your biggest one, or even in episode 1 and episode 2, there was a lot of detective work that you had. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi Wan Kenobi in episode 1 were trying.
They're more diplomatics and trying to investigate solutions. Where they were most Jedi's were mostly sent on diplomatic missions or missions where there is potential conflict and try to investigate and solve.
So
they were the feds.
They kind of were. So it was like you saw him going into the detective element of him as a Jedi. Like you saw those elements in that episode. So it was really nice to see him come back. It was nice to see that his first thing wasn't to reach for a lightsaber, not because he's concerned on whether or not he can use it. It's more so the fact, I don't want to draw attention to myself. So could he use the Force and do things? He's almost scared to use the Force, even in close combat, because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. And those little nuances, even his fear in his eyes when he sees a clone, and it's a mixture. Ewan McGregor did a fantastic job, both in this episode and the previous.
Any change for an old vet?
Yes. Like the fear in his eyes, but also the guilt, because he's the one who got the clones. He was the ones who brought the clones from Camino and got them to be basically the army for the Republic. And those same clones were the ones who killed the Jedi in Order 66.
Yeah, and also I also think with the by the way, I'm glad they found a way to bring Tamara Morrison in again to the show. But yeah, I love that fact. There's sort of a conflict. Like there's a sense of sadness of seeing this clone basically be homeless, but also this sense of fear as well, because it's like this fear, the mixture of emotions of fear. It's very short of a scene, but just I love that little bit of what Ewan is able to do with Obi-Wan to show this sense of fear and sadness. Fear that like these clones were they killed off the Jedi. It was because of these clones that Jedi were wiped out. It's also like he feels a sense of sadness because he understands they were tools.
Yeah.
They were tools of the Emperor, and then once the tools were no longer useful, they were cast aside. And seeing sort of sadness, but also, he fought side by side with a lot of these as brethrens. So I can. It's a very short little scene, but it there's so much to it.
That he like conveys, and it's just, again, this is amazing acting that you got from Ewan McGregor, and it's like nobody is Obi-Wan. Like it's Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
And then the other chap.
And I know you were happy about the final shot of the episode.
Oh, well, I was happy. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So overall, I love this episode too. I enjoyed it. There's parts I enjoyed it a lot more than the first episodes, and there's some that I didn't as much. But a lot of the things you said, I will defend Leia's behavior on a couple things. Number one, let's also keep in mind she's been very sheltered. She's a very sheltered girl. Number two, yes, she is. Look, she knows stories of Jedi, but let's be clear, she hasn't seen a Jedi. Number three, Number 3, Obi-Wan has shown no signs when they're together. Obi-Wan has shown no signs that he's a Jedi. Like, he hasn't used the Force. He hasn't shown any signs of using his lightsaber. Like, as far as she knows, like, he says he's a Jedi, but she doesn't know this dude.
Okay,
like,
you are a 10-year-old on a planet with no means to get home, and the only person who saved you from the dudes who kidnapped you.
Yeah, but again, you don't know if this is maybe a bounty hunter who's just trying to collect his prize. Again, he hasn't shown anything that suggests that he is a Jedi at that point. So for her, it's just like, he maybe just like, there's literally early on in the episode, there's this guy who's like, I'm a Jedi and I can help you cross.
I like that.
Clearly BSing. Which, by the way, I thought it was great. I thought it was great that he was using this as a hustle. And it kind of also showed he's still a good person, but hey, he's like, look, I try to do and help people get by, but at the same time, I got to make sure I'm taken care of as well. So, you know, I love characters like that has these, you know, they clearly have overall good intentions, but they have a very skewed sense of morality. But it's based on the conditions of living. So I enjoyed him. I know he went a little bit too extra with the, I am putting this mind trick on you. And it's like, okay.
You have to take into consideration how many people are alive who actually interacted with a Jedi.
No, which is what I'm trying to make about Leia. Thank you for making my point. So she doesn't know. I kind of think it's like, this dude just randomly showed up. He may just be another bounty hunter just trying to seek a reward. I'm just saying, I can understand why she ran. And also I can understand why she's behaving, because again, she's someone who hasn't been off world. She's seeing a whole new world and seeing different things. So again, I can kind of, there were some things like where it's like, I will say this, there was that part where she was like, how do I could believe it? She started running, and then she also was just like, let me float me. There were some parts I was like, okay, this is kind of like borderline, okay, you're just trying to be too kiddish. But then I also was like, I do remember Leia was just like, Leia all of a sudden would just, in the first episode 4, would just be like, trying to save your skin and cause a scene and just go, yeah, and just dumps everybody into a garbage can. Oh yeah, what an incredible smell you had. What an incredible smell you discovered. You know, she would just be reckless. She would be reckless too.
That is very different. Episode 1, there was
4.
Correct. Correct. My apologies. Episode 4.
My apologies.
Episode 4, they literally had stormtroopers front and back. There was no way out except through that garbage disposal. So that's not being reckless. That is, all the avenues for escape are gone. So let me go through this route. That's different. We're gonna say
all I'm gonna say is, look, I do agree with you. There was some parts I was just like, okay, you are kind of pushing the, oh, she's a kid type of thing. But I'm just saying is, I can kind of, there's a lot of things I can defend Leia for her behavior in episode 2. But let's talk about the reckless behavior of Reva. Like, Reva's just completely going against the Inquisitors, doesn't care about it. It's like, he's like, look, stop. The Grand Inquisitor's like, you need to stop this right now. All right, you're being reckless. You're drawing more attention to us than we need. I'm taking over this. I'll capture Obi-Wan. And then she just goes behind his back like, yo, put a bounty hunter, find him, and tell nobody about it. And like, did she really think the Grand Inquisitor going to? And of course he finds out. It's like, wait, you didn't think the Grand Inquisitor was going to find out about that?
It's not even about finding out, but she was right. The thing, again, you're not going to talk to me about her being reckless. I don't think that was reckless, because she was right. When she had all those bounty hunters chasing Obi-Wan, it left him with no alternative but to find resources. And then as all these bounty hunters are shooting and chasing him, it makes it easier for her to track him down. So yes, was it going above the Grand Inquisitor's head? Yeah.
Well, but I also think, because I also understand the Grand Inquisitor, because let's be clear, I think first of all, she's very open. She's very like unapologetic that
Mhm.
she is ambitious about capturing Obi-Wan and she clearly is showing it right on her, right, literally on her clothes, that she wants to get Obi-Wan to put in favor. Which, of course, if you're the Grand Inquisitor, that's kind of like, you hold on, you stepping on my role of this organization. You trying to overstep me. I got a problem. You stepping into my you stepping into my territory. So yeah, I can kind of understand why I was like, no. You ain't gonna try to think you can sidestep to try to, like, again, he thinks she's trying to just get favors of Vader and be by his side. Again, as I said in episode 1, I think she wants to kill him. And this episode really, really shows the fact that she's so hell bent on getting Obi-Wan, and it's very shown here that she knows, she makes it very clear, I want to bring you to him. It's, to me, that only solidifies my theory that she wants to kill Vader. She wants to bring Obi-Wan so she can get close to him and kill him, because she was one of those younglings at the Jedi Temple, and she wants revenge. She made it, and she said it in the first episode, I want what's owed to me. So, but overall, I love the look of this place. You got this woman. It's like, look, he's like, I'm searching for a child. Yeah, sure. I was somebody's child and I got lost here too. Here, have some spice. You'll forget all about her, like my parents forgot about. It's like, you really feel the sense of the sense of the world, like at least this part of the galaxy has really just given up on hope of a brighter future. It's like, look, we're just trying to everybody here is just looking like, look, we're just trying to get through the next day. That's the sense that now everybody feels about it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the character? I forgot the name of the character, but the fake Jedi, the scoundrel fake Jedi.
I like him. I'm curious of who he is. Even though he like gets knocked out, I don't think she killed him. I think she just knocked him.
I think he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. I just think he's some sort of like,
he's a member of the Resistance, clearly.
Yeah, rebellion.
He's the member of the rebellion. Yes, that's very clear.
Well, no, this is because right now at the time, because it's not the rebellion. There's no rebellion at this time, because really the rebellion doesn't actually happen until
closer to Rogue One.
Until Rogue One, the rebellion isn't officially the Rebel Alliance doesn't officially become.
No, I disagree with that, because remember what the captain said. The one particular captain.
No. Understand, there's rebellions and there's rebellions and there's rebel fighters. But what I'm trying to say is the official Rebel Alliance, this is based on lore. The official Rebel Alliance does not take place until, it's not officially formed until after the Battle of Yavin. That is when the rebellion, the actual Rebel Alliance, is officially formed.
That is correct.
There's rebellions, there's sectors of the rebellions, but there's no official Rebel Alliance.
Correct.
Until the events of Episode 4. At this point in time. So I just want to get that clarity out. But yeah, no, I love the settings of it. The setting is very Blade Runner-esque.
It is.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of Blade Runner. It really brings me back to some of the Old Republic, to the Old Republic game, where it's like you really get to see the guts and grits, the city underbelly, like the real life, how real life people are living in the time under the reign of the Empire. And this is stuff that I've always wanted to see. I wanted to just see, like, just going through, having normal people just trying to live their day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. These were some of the best elements I loved about any sort of Star Wars content. So this is the one that I personally really enjoyed. So yeah, a lot of the scenes I really do enjoy. Mm-hmm. I did get this. I love the whole John Wick aspect. All of a sudden, she increases the bounty. Now everybody gets that. And it's like excommunicado, and now Obi-Wan has the entire planet
searching for him.
Yeah.
No, I like that too. I think my favorite part was right at the end, which is the again, it goes back to Ewan McGregor is so amazing at Obi Wan Kenobi, but just an amazing actor. And the way he conveys a mixture of, because this whole time I think he's been living with the guilt of, I killed my brother. I killed my brother, my best friend, the person who I trained all this time, who I was responsible for. And now
and then he finds out that he's
alive. And that not only he's alive, I harmed you, you're alive. And it's almost like, I remember Padme telling me there was good in you. And now I feel like I abandoned you again and left you into, I failed you again because I didn't realize you were alive. I didn't come to try to, I didn't come when your body was burning. I didn't try, even though we battled each other, I didn't try to save you. I didn't try to heal you. I didn't try to do any of those things. I just left you to die and you didn't die. And now you're alive. And like that feeling of guilt, that feeling of, oh shit, I've unleashed this hell on this galaxy. And also the feeling of, is there a chance I can save him?
That sense of dread, like it's not just that, oh, not only is alive, I have released horror, because I not only did I not only fail him, now I failed the galaxy. I have failed this and this. I failed everybody because I didn't finish him off, and now he's causing havoc because I couldn't finish him. I can't wait to see how this conflict unfolds, and the fact that now that Vader also, it's clearly Vader also has now sensed him as well. So I can't wait to see how they continue on. So predictions, when do you think we'll fully see Vader? Which episode do you think they'll fully bring Vader?
How many are there supposed to be in this?
6 total. Okay. So we done through 2, so there's 4 more left.
I want to say episode 4.
So you think 4 is where they'll?
Because I think they'll wait till episode 6. I think it would be like episode. I think we'll have elements in episode 4, like a couple scenes with him, more so in 5, and then more so in 6.
I think we'll see him next episode.
Really?
I think we'll see him next episode. Because there's other things that we have to get to as well. But I think we'll see him in the next episode, and then it's sort of the next 2 episodes are basically what leads into the final act. So we'll see. But I definitely think we'll see more of him starting with next episode. Overall, overall, I love this episode. I think this is a really solid, really good episode. And overall, I am enjoying the series. I did not expect to see, like I said, young Leia was a surprise. I think I love her a little bit more than you did. The only other thing I want to talk about is like the way that the big controversy. I need to talk about the big controversy. You probably don't know what this big controversy is. And the fact is the controversy is Reva kills the Grand Inquisitor, or at least it appears to be. And the reason why this is such a big controversy for Star Wars fans, because those of us who've watched Rebels, he dies at the hands, he dies in Rebels, which is supposed to take like 5 years later. So now a whole lot of people are like, wait, did they really just kill him off? They killed the Grand Inquisitor off in the 2nd episode of Obi Wan. Like a lot of people are just like upset to the nth degree. I will say this. I don't know what they're going to say. Maybe he's not dead. Maybe they are going to retcon Rebels and basically say Rebels is not. But that would be. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's
because
the case. He's dead. I mean,
because Rebels is by Dave Filoni, and there's no way in the world I would see Dave Filoni just basically write off his own story that he written series before. So that's my thought. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think if that's the case, I don't think he's dead, because Darth Maul was sliced in half and apparently he didn't die. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because he got stabbed doesn't necessarily mean he died. If Darth Maul can get sliced in half and he's still alive, then and
Yeah,
apparently
very true. No, that's true. That is true.
apparently Palpatine has a son, and we've never seen a.
Well, that's EU. I mean, there's tons of
I don't
books
want to go
that talk about that Palpatine has a son and even a grandchild. So
doesn't even make
that's
sense. There's so many reasons I don't want to rant about. But there is a question I want to ask you, because I forgot to ask you this before, on your opinion, when we were talking about episode 1, and I wanted to say this, but I forgot it. I felt like it was a little bit of like a regurgitated concept that he has to go save Leia, because that's literally the premise of episode 4, is that Luke goes to save Leia. So the reason that Obi-Wan got out of hiding is because he has to go save Leia, where again, majority of the relationship he's built is with Luke. I would have rather somehow that would have got him out of hiding, or maybe not something happened to Luke, but something happened and there was some other event that he needs to protect Luke from, so he has to go and do something because it's threatening Owen and the farm. I don't know, but that to me felt like kind of a. I understand why they went with the Leia route, because I don't think it's just because it's an easier bone to pick, but I think it's also because her family is more prominent. It makes a lot more sense with Leia being kidnapped or something happened to Leia than something happened to Luke.
Yeah. No, I actually think it makes more sense for Leia, because first of all, I think they're like, we got to get Obi-Wan off Tatooine somehow. And the only thing that would bring Obi-Wan off Tatooine is Leia, because he made a promise to protect both the babies to Padme. So, so to me, that's the only thing that would draw him off planet. And let's keep in mind, Luke is completely oblivious, even up until he meets up with Obi-Wan in episode 4. He's completely oblivious to the realities of what's going on in the galaxy.
He's not oblivious, because he's more educated on the wars and the Empire.
No, but the thing is, the whole thing with the rebellion in the Empire, it's all like fantasy news. It's more like
a dream.
Dramatizations, a dreaming of a boy. It's not reality. He hasn't experienced the realities of what all that is, where Leia does. So it makes more sense for Leia. Anyways, again, I really do enjoy this episode. I can't wait to see what happens. Again, I want to see. I may be wrong with my theory about Reva. I know a lot of people are still iffy about Reva. I don't care what I don't care. I think she there's enough there that it's strong interest. Again, I could be completely wrong about my theory about her, but I'm very intrigued to see if how her story ends up, and how her storyline ultimately ends.
Right.
As well as I just love to see how Obi-Wan just comes back to term of because it's not just the fact that when we get to episode 4 that he's just an old hermit. No, he is. By the time before we get to episode 4, but even in Rebels, you come across an Obi-Wan who's at peace of who he has become. He's finally at peace with himself. So I'm really fascinated to see that journey of someone who's in so much conflict with themselves about the events that transpire, and how he ultimately becomes a man who eventually just becomes at peace. And I can't wait to see that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. We will definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about episode 2. Let us know, leave your comments below. And once again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And as always, make sure to check us out on the next one. And may the force be with you.
Always.